Welcome to the Trinity Channel. I'm your host, Naharen Nwia. I'm also an Assyrian American activist and proud to be here in the studio at the Trinity Channel. And I am also so pleased to have Ninar Keyruz on the show with us today. She is the Public Relations Director of In Defense of Christians, an amazing organization that is based in Washington, D.C., that is defending our people internationally, especially because of the crisis that is occurring in the Middle East. Thank you so much, Dinar, for joining us today.
Hello, Nahran. Thank you for reaching out again, and thanks for being with you.
Absolutely. It's an honor, and I had the pleasure and also the honor to join In Defense of Christians at this amazing event that took place not too long ago that we will discuss in detail later on. But first, just to tell the audience that might have missed it in the last interview we did, can you please tell us about who IDC is, just briefly, and just what your mission is?
Of course. In Defense of Christians, or IDC, is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization based in Washington, D.C., whose mission is to protect and preserve Christians and Christian culture in the Middle East.
That's wonderful. And, you know, speaking about the convention that took place on the dates of September 9th through the 11th, can you tell us about that convention in details, just to tell the audience the importance of this organization?
Yes, of course, and you were there, Nahran, to see the 3 days full of packed events. So this was our inaugural National Leadership Convention, Mobilizing America for Christians in the Middle East. What we did is invite all of our members from different chapters nationwide, and they attended these 3 days. The goal was to raise awareness, act on the Hill, and influence policymakers to take the right decisions to help solve this problem and this crisis in the Middle East. We started the convention with a press conference, which you attended. It was on ISIS, the genocide, and the international community. We had former Representative Frank Wolf with us. We had major speakers. And also, as you can remember, Congressman Fortenberry announced the House Resolution 75 at our press conference, which is the resolution that talks about admitting that what's happening to the Middle East Christians and minorities is a genocide. And this was already a big highlight, even on the first day of the convention. That same evening, we had an ecumenical prayer at St. Joseph Church on Capitol Hill. The second day was a full day on Congress. You were there. You heard from over 20 members of Congress speak. You then visited, along other members, visited their offices, spoke to staffers, met with similar NGOs in roundtable discussions. And after that long day on Congress, where people were urging members of Congress to sign this resolution, we had another awareness event in the evening at the French Embassy. It was a cultural night celebrating Christian art and culture from the Middle East, where we had films, our own and other directors, featured with us, films that were made on location in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Turkey. We had artists and musicians from different Christian diaspora groups who live in the USA share with us their cause through art. And the third day was a day full of different panels. We had Voices from the Middle East, which you were on as well, Nahran, testimonials from activists such as yourself, who were there on the ground, who were in the region, and to describe to the people what was going on in the Middle East, to the Christians in particular. Another panel was building bridges, because, as you know, we work on voicing all the Christians of the Middle East in America and uniting them, but we will also work on building a bridge and unite them with the American Christian community. So that was another panel we had with major speakers as well. And then for our chapter members who came from all over the United States, we had a chapter building workshop so that they can benefit after their full day on Congress, and after all this experience, they can go back with tools and know how to apply them to create a new chapter or to expand their chapter and make it more efficient, raising awareness, helping the Christians of the Middle East, and helping the national office here in DC. And we concluded with our capstone event, the Solidarity Dinner at the Hyatt Regency with major speakers such as His Beatitude Patriarch Yonan from the Syriac Catholic Church, Ambassador Saperstein, Carl Anderson from Knights of Columbus, and others. And it was the conclusion of our convention, which we're still building on the results, the really exceptionally successful results we had, such as, for example, we're being approached by new cities now and new states wanting to start chapters, media wanting to highlight what happened, wanting to talk more and support the resolution. So it's like it's not over. The convention may have ended as a schedule and as events, but the results of the convention are ongoing. And this makes us happy. It's a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of work to do. And this is why we're here.
Very well said, Ninar. And just, from someone that was also there and witnessed it, I mean, I saw your team work tirelessly. I mean, some of you, especially you and, your close teammates, you worked and barely slept and barely ate. There were moments that I just looked at Ninar and wondered if she even ate lunch or breakfast or even drank water. These people, I want the audience to know that In Defense of Christians is truly just as the title states, to the word, to the letter. This amazing organization is trying to realistically and politically fight for Christianity, no matter where it may be, and especially fight for the groups that are most persecuted, that are being destroyed, annihilated, and they're trying to fight them in a sense that, they're politically standing in the faces of these policymakers that are making these life or death decisions for us. And it is because of IDC and people like Ninar and her teammates. And I had the pleasure of meeting the founder as well, and the president. They're amazing people, and we truly need to support IDC in however we can. But we're going to play this first video footage that we're honored to have IDC share with us. If you could please play the first one.
اولا قلتني من برنامج سوري وين روجي بو ساعة حشتي واري ومن دري خسرنا برنامج سوري قوتن قوم ميرا سرجع كنا ومير چنديش ما برنجي دي ساني بشتي جبرين نهم نزانش بقي جهاد قيش مفروتين هر نغلا ايك هات كتابك تاني نافي چندان نويسي ود برين
أخذوا طفلة صغيرة من أمها. أكو عوائل كثيرة فاقدين أولادهم، يعني مو بس إحنا، أكو غير ناس هذول بعد تريدون مؤشرات. هذا أكبر خطر على المسيحية.
متحاولين بلكي حال كيفان يغسير هاد برسن فان يغسير بلكي يجني دستي وان درتين
كلهم وحوش. ليش؟ ما خلونا نجيب البلد.
What a heartbreaking video, and we really want to relay a message, and thanks to wonderful organizations like In Defense of Christians, we are able to paint a picture to the communities internationally to show them, to prove to them that this is what is happening to our beloved Christian brothers and sisters in the persecuted church, in the Middle East, and other areas where they are literally being annihilated. And as you can see from that video, even our brothers and sisters in other cultures, they're being annihilated because they're near us geographically. And we truly, truly need to come together and work together to stop the persecution of Christians, and thank God to In Defense of Christians for doing that. And I hope and pray that everyone that's watching, please contact In Defense of Christians, and we'll discuss later on the best ways to contact them. But also I wanted to ask you, Ninar, from the event, the monumental event that took place in Washington, D.C. From the 9th to the 11th, what do you believe were the best things that we accomplished, the biggest things that IDC accomplished from these?
Well, of course, I'm going to answer you this question, Nahrain, but I wanted to say I know that you were close to the team and you were touched by the team of IDC. I wanted to say that you're part of our team as well. We all loved you, everyone. Your tears at the press conference touched everyone's hearts, ours, and all the people. So it's also people like you who are always constantly on social media raising awareness and fighting for their own people, and for all Christians in the Middle East who also make a difference. So you were also, your presence was very special to us. Back to your question, I can say simply, well, as of the first day, of course, it was the resolution. It was one of the biggest things. But I can also tell you that in addition to the resolution being introduced and now co-sponsored by around 120 members of Congress, I think the fact that we were able to unite all these Christians, Christian diaspora members, and to bring them from different chapters and from different states and cities, that's a success also, because you know how Christians from the Middle East, they come from different backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds, ethnic. So it's not that they're divided on a base of their enemies, but they don't work together. They each have an organization representing them. And that's not what's going to stop this genocide. Working alone, each organization separately, is not going to stop the Christians of the Middle East getting killed. So I think one huge success was the result of our work for the past several months before the convention, of creating chapters and bringing the members of diaspora and other people who are interested to the convention, this unity that we created. The other one is the bridge we built with the American community, because we had many non-Middle Eastern Christians at our convention, as you saw. And the awareness we created, we raised a lot of awareness in DC through the cultural event at the French embassy, to show them that we have art and we have culture, to show the people who don't know about the Christians of the Middle East something different than what they see on the news, about just a news of killing, a number of kidnapped, a number of beheaded. So we raised awareness that these are people, they're real people with history and culture, and through film. So you tell the story of someone through music, through film, through a presentation, through art. It's completely different. It's different than seeing it through the news. And that also had a very positive effect, in addition to all the panels. So basically raising awareness, getting the resolution announced, getting all the members go to congressmen, hear from them, and visit their offices, urging them to co-sponsor the resolution. I'd say these are the best results, which are, again, as I say, ongoing. We're still picking the fruits of this convention happily, because as you also know, this genocide is not stopping. Just yesterday, 3 Assyrian Christians were executed in Syria. And the video that you just showed is just a glimpse into the reality of the people living there. And the fact that there are others, non-Christians, proves that it's a genocide against all minorities and everyone who doesn't fit the profile of the executors, which means this could spread worldwide. And this is a matter of national security. And this is not a matter just about the Christians of the Middle East. This is why it needs to be admitted that it's a genocide and it needs to stop, and the international community and the US need to act on it more aggressively and promptly.
Very well said, Ninar, and I definitely agree. And you know, I hope the international world understands how serious ISIS is, how serious persecution is, that it can be easily transmitted somewhere else. It's like a cancer. One day it's in the Middle East, in one country, it's a domino effect, it's spreading everywhere. You know, it's an ideology that cannot be contained in one geographic location. So we must come together as humanity, not just Christians, but come together, join efforts in however we can to support the right people, to support the right and outstanding organizations like In Defense of Christians, so that we can stop terror where it starts before it gets so big that I don't care how big a country is, they'll never stop it at that point, and evil will be spread everywhere. And I wanted to ask you, Ninar, just to, because I understand how amazing this organization is, and I truly, truly hope the entire world finds out about In Defense of Christians. I want to know, are you getting enough national, international, local support?
we're getting more support and more people knowing of us after the convention, although we had enough supporters, especially in the DC area and from our chapter members nationwide from different states and cities such as California, Illinois, Cleveland, but we're gaining more support now after the convention, but we need more. We need to raise more awareness. We would like to have more support and awareness among the Christian community in America and among the American community in general, all people of goodwill, because as you said, this is a humanitarian crisis. So non-Christians also and non-believers should stand by this cause and support it and support us as an organization because we're working on it. And I'd like to say, if I may here, everyone who would love to help us, help these people in the Middle East can go to our website and donate to IDC. We've been helping them several times, especially through our team in Lebanon, to the Christians from Syria and Iraq who were displaced and took refuge in Lebanon, who left their homes under persecution. They can donate to IDC so that we can continue our aid efforts to them. And they can do that by going to the website, idcconvention.org, and go to the donate page. It's very easy. We really need everyone's support, just like we need to raise awareness, just like we need media support. We need the people's support as well in fundraising, and so that IDC actually continues to work on all levels helping these people.
Amazing. And just knowing, I mean, how many Christians are in the United States and just internationally, they all need to support. And, there's plenty of us. We're the largest population of a specific religion in the United States. So, we pray to God with all God's will that you receive all types of support because we truly, truly need these frontline fighters fighting for us politically, because at the end of the day, we all need to pray. We need to pray as much as we can, but we also need another strategy as well, in addition to praying, and that's fighting politically and just fighting for our rights, for the rights of the survival of Christianity. Even our brothers and sisters who are the dearest to us, who are the most persecuted in situations that us in the Western countries can never comprehend, can never even know what they're going through because it's so horrendous. You wouldn't even be able to imagine. You've never even seen in scary movies. They cannot mimic what is happening to our Christian brothers and sisters and fellow minorities in our homelands, in the ancestral lands where Christianity was born. And then I want to play the next video, if you may, in the studio, just to cover the next video that IDC was happy enough to share with us.
بس كان يشوفوا يعني يسمعون بأنه هذا مسيحي نزل على الموصل قبل يقتلوه خلاص يعني.
كانت صح آمنة بس بسبب الأوضاع وبسبب الحروب وبسبب التفجير ما صارت آمنة.
داعش كلهم وحوش.
ليش؟
ما خلونا شي بهالبلد.
Please the West, wake up and save my people.
الله كل يوم علينا بسهليو وعيشي معكم. هجرونا الذبح القتل شفنا قدامنا.
يعني نحتاج لا الدول لو يخلونا امان يرجعونا على بيوتنا، لو يخلونا هجرة جماعية نروح على اي دولة بس نعيش.
Enough, it's been enough. Take the action.
Stop the Christian genocide.
Stop Christian genocide.
Stop the Christian genocide.
Stop Christian genocide.
Stop Christian genocide.
Please stop the Christian genocide.
In all Middle East. That's our message for you.
Stop the Christian genocide.
Wow, amazing. That literally, I've seen this before, but it gave me goosebumps. It's so heart-wrenching to see what's happening to our brothers and sisters in the Middle East. And I truly want the audience, if you don't even know any Middle Eastern Christians, they are connected to you. The Assyrians, including our Chaldean brothers and sisters, they are genetically connected to you, not just in our faith, but genetically. These are the cradlers of civilization. That's where everything started, not just Christianity, but also science, mathematics, and the wheel, Fahrenheit, Celsius, many different things that were monumental, fundamental to our very existence today. And, we truly, truly need to stand behind them, support them in however we can, and, also pray for them. Like Ninar mentioned earlier, they're being executed regularly. These are fathers, mothers, even children, and it is our obligation, not just as Christians, as humanity, to fight for them. And, thank God for IDC and wonderful people like Ninar, if you missed her earlier, but they have been fighting tirelessly for this effort, and it's so revolutionary, I believe, to the overall cause for indefensive Christians to be standing as one of the frontline fighters, and to also be new, something that was established just last year, and to be strong and so big already. But I wanted to ask you, Ninar, what are some future projects you have planned with IDC? What are some new exciting events that our audience can look forward to?
Well, Nahrain, right now we're really focusing on getting more signatures for the resolution. We don't want to stop at 120, and we are looking for donations. We are working on many different things to raise more awareness, to do more media. But the program of 2016 will soon be announced, and I hope, you'll be the first to know. We can discuss it later in more detail, because right now, and soon enough after the convention, we don't want to let go of the resolution. We're really focusing on that. Specifically, we're focusing on many donations. We're expanding chapters. Like I said, people are reaching out to us from different cities and states, wanting to create new chapters. We want to raise more awareness in the media with the people. We're also doing church outreach. So it's all these projects, but the specific big events to come, I cannot yet speak of them, because these will be announced as part of the 2016 program. And believe me, they're the size of the convention, if not bigger, because it is a big issue. And just like you watching this video again, which was made for us on location by IDC team people, it's like watching it for the first time, and it makes me feel like this is real. This is not a Hollywood movie. This is real, and this needs to stop.
Definitely. And you had mentioned about expanding chapters. If someone either they wanted to actually join a chapter or start a chapter, or just support IDC, if someone's interested, what can they do to join IDC?
Well, they can follow us, and there's a membership, of course. It has to be through their local chapter, if the chapter already exists, or they can create a chapter. And to know that, they can simply log into our website. Our website is being reworked right now. It's indefenseofchristians.org. But for easier access, they can contact us at info@indefenseofchristians.org and tell us, where they live. We'll let them know if there's a local chapter. We'll put them in touch with them. And if not, then they can lead on creating a new chapter, just like the people who were contacting us recently. So it's info@indefenseofchristians.org, and we'll explain to them everything about membership, creating a chapter, or joining a chapter.
That's great. That's great. And, they really, as I was saying earlier, many people need to join this effort, because it is not something to join next year, as in, even in 2016, 17, is something that you really need to do immediately. The moment you find out about it, you need to somehow help this effort, this cause, and this organization is a great way to do it, just because I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen their work. I've seen the way they fight. I've seen the way they speak to congressmen and policymakers, and it made me, as a Christian, not only as an Assyrian, but as a Christian, to know that we have defenders like this fighting fighting for us. Because to be honest with you, even as an activist, sometimes advocating, I felt like I was speaking to walls, people with no ears, just not listening to what we were demanding, and I felt helpless for a moment. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, is anyone going to save our people? Are we truly going to be annihilated? Is Christianity going to be completely destroyed where it was born? And that devastated me. But really, it brings hope, and I hope even the people that will watch this video clip from the Middle East, I hope it gives them hope that, you know, there are wonderful people fighting for you, and that will never stop, no matter what, for as long as we're still breathing and IDC is still breathing, that they will fight for you until one day you are safe and we are able to rebuild all of those destroyed churches, over 100 churches that have been completely destroyed, and that we will never have to announce the executions of our brothers, our Christian brothers and sisters, being brutally taken by these horrible people, and we will fight for them until the day we die. And I wanted to play the next video, if you may, please.
Christians are passing through a very dark tunnel in their presence in the Middle East, and we can raise all the questions about their faith, their future. All Christians of the Middle East are suffering, especially Syrian and Iraqis, and also Lebanese.
للأسف بدي أقول لك شغلة، إنه العالم بيفكروا إنه وضع العراقيين النازحين في لبنان هو مجرد مساعدة مادية أو مساعدة إنية، يعني بيعطوا مواد غذائية مرة مرتين ثلاثة وانتهى الموضوع. ولكن للأسف في عندنا معاناة جدا جدا كبيرة، معاناة تبدأ أولا معاناة النفسية، معاناة عدم الاستقرار، معاناة الخوف في لبنان.
أنا طلعت من بغداد بسبب وفاة والدتي، لأن راحت بسيارة مفخخة. يعني من وفاة والدتي اسودت الدنيا بعيني. اضطريت أطلع من بغداد خوفاً من السيارات المفخخة، خوفاً من الخطف، خوفاً من كل شيء.
فلما هربنا خفنا، كان يقصفون كثير، كانت صوت الطلقات، خفت ما يجي داعش وياخذنا يعني.
لما صار الهجوم هربنا، جينا على الحسكة، بيوتنا بالقرية انحرقت، الكنيسة تدمرت، أول كنيسة اللي تدمرت كنيسة الهربس.
بدي خص بالذكر اكيد مؤسسه IDC. المؤسسه هي اللي حقيقه هي اللي هي شغلتها وهمها وبقلبها الدفاع عن المسيحيين بالشرق.
Education is also a major need, because many families, thousands of families, they left their homeland, their home villages, and they found refuge in other areas where there is no infrastructure to be able to send their children to schools. All Christian children of Iraqi refugees, they remained at home without any education for the whole year.
أحب أصير معلمة، أحب أتعلم لأن المدرسة تحدد مستقبل.
Without the Christians, the Middle East is not the Middle East anymore. The Middle East, especially Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon, has always had this tapestry and this mosaic that makes its flavor.
أحب أرجع على كرمليس بسلام بدون خوف.
شنو بعد تحبين تقدمين للبلد؟
حب بأنه اجتهد وحب لما العراق يصير أأمن بلد.
Wow, that's truly amazing. And you know, every time I watch videos like this, it truly grounds me to the earth and just makes me realize, first, how grateful we are to be living in a safe area, and second, that we truly want to share these safe areas with our brothers and sisters and do whatever we can do to help them live in a safer area where they could pray, where they could speak their language, especially a highly persecuted language like the Aramaic language that is spoken by Assyrians, including Chaldeans and Syriacs, a language of Jesus Christ that the whole world, especially if they claim to be Christian, a language that Jesus spoke, that should be protected by the entire world. Ninar, can you please describe the video that just played?
Yes, so this video was done by two people. I mean, we created we wanted to do it here at the national office, and we had from an Alton Productions IDC advisor Jordan Alot do the Syria-Iraq part. He was there to do a documentary for his own, which we ended up, you know, somehow partnering on it, and it's to come soon. And then what I wanted to do is to capture the latest status, to show people what is happening over there, to show those who are following up that nothing changed and it got worse, and to show those who don't know anything about this issue, raise awareness and tell them this is how people are living. This is the kind of trauma the kids are getting exposed to. Even you saw adults crying, you know, you saw priests and bishops cry. So it's not an easy thing for them to become refugees. And these are people who were well off in their countries. These are people who are educated and they want to continue their education. And they're going to a small and poor and insecure country like Lebanon. Lebanon is the smallest country with the highest number of refugees worldwide as per the United Nations. This is also unfair to Lebanon, to its economy, to its problems, always welcoming people. And how much can you help when you cannot even stand on your feet? I mean, just like they tell you on the airplane, you have to secure yourself and put some oxygen on your feet in case of emergency and then help a child. So Lebanon is a country with many problems, and then you have the problem of more refugees there. This creates a complication. This is why other organizations like IDC, international communities, NGOs have to help the people that are being displaced, whether they're displaced within their own country, like in Iraq, they're going to northern Iraq, or like they're going to Lebanon. But there's a lot to do to help. I mean, IDC cannot do it alone. You need to help them education-wise. You need to help them provide food, renew their papers. It's very complicated and complex issue. This is why we ask again to raise awareness, and we ask people to help us to donate to IDC so that we can maintain helping these people. You heard that kid, she wants to go back home. The other crying kid wants to leave. He's depressed. He's traumatized from the previous video. But this child, the little girl, she wants her country, Iraq, to be the safest. So some of them, out of fear, they want to leave, and that's understandable. But we know that there are millions who want to stay. And meanwhile, while waiting for a solution, or while waiting for some visa to be granted for them, they have rent to pay. Their education is on hold. They're living either in churches, schools, so that's not a life. And again, not to people who were living a very normal life, or either were well off or very, very normally educated. These are not people who just came from nowhere and this is a situation they were always been. No, this situation is new to them, so they're in shock.
Definitely. And Ninar, before we end the show, can you please just tell us briefly about the genocide resolution and what people can do to help the genocide resolution, just so they can actually join on and put the pressure that is needed on these policymakers as well?
So Narhan, as you know, we've been working very closely with the Caucus for Religious Minorities in the Middle East, and this caucus is co-chaired by Congressman Fortenberry and Congresswoman Ishu. And we've been able to triple the members of this caucus through our members and influence and awareness. We're really happy to do that. And as a result of all this work, we're really happy and proud of Congressman Fortenberry for announcing this resolution. We're supporting it to the extreme. we would like people to know that they can support as well. And this is very easy. All they have to do is contact their representative and urge them to co-sponsor Resolution 75. And they can do it through IDC's website as well. They have to go to idcconvention.org and just click on Contact Your Representative, and it takes under a minute to do so. And I feel that every person who would do that would feel better afterwards, because they would have done something good for humanity, for Christians of the Middle East, and for the minorities, because this resolution, this genocide resolution, is about admitting that what's happening to the Christians and other minorities in the Middle East, such as the Yazidis, is a genocide. So they'll be helping all these people they see on the news getting beheaded or kidnapped. They'll be helping all these people by urging their representative to co-sponsor this resolution. And they can also help by raising awareness at church, in school, at work. They can do that by following our news on social media. If they follow our page, we always post news from the Middle East. We always post about this issue. They'll be updated and they'll feel more involved, and therefore it will seem effortless to help and to raise awareness themselves.
Definitely. And Ninar, can you say that website one more time for them to get to the IDC, the resolution, the genocide resolution?
Sure, it's on our website. It's on our convention website, the Take Action link. So it is idcconvention.org, and they go to the page, which is Contact Your Representative, and they take action there. It's just very simple steps.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I wanted to thank you so much, Ninar, for coming on again. And we hope to keep in touch with you. And as an activist, I will continue to work with In Defense of Christians, an organization that I am so honored to help and support. And I really highly urge and recommend for everyone to visit their website. Ninar, if you could say the website of In Defense of Christians.
It's indefenseofchristians.org. It has a link also through the convention website. And it's being so they have to be a little bit patient with us because we're reworking it. But that's the website, and they can follow us on Facebook. It's In Defense of Christians, or on Twitter, it's @InDefChristians. And we have a YouTube channel where they can watch all these videos that you shared and more videos whenever we're in the news, wherever we have something new. It's on our YouTube channel, In Defense of Christians.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ninar, and thank you to the entire team of In Defense of Christians. God bless you and empower you to work more and, continue your work. And, I can never have the verbiage or, just the will to even thank you enough. And I hope the entire communities, Christian communities, and even other nationalities and religions who want to help Christianity to survive. As you know, Christianity is the equilibrium in the Middle East and throughout the entire world. So we truly, truly need to empower it, rebuild it, revive it, whatever we need to do that. And also thank you to the Trinity Channel for hosting this amazing show for something that's so important and fundamental to the cause of persecution that will for sure mark history books that we'll remember forever. Our children's children will remember what is happening to our brothers and sisters that started in 2014 and continues on, a genocide that has not stopped. And we, as the people, as Christians, brothers and sisters all together, can stop the persecution of Christians if we hold our hands together and empower each other. We can make anything possible. God bless you, and thank you so much for watching the Trinity Channel.